I think when you see companies like, you see big companies or like massive companies starting to take more of an interest in investing in user onboarding, it's probably a couple of things. One, take like Facebook. I have no idea. I don't have I don't have a direct connection there. So this is only me guessing. But what I suspect is they have hit an engagement wall of some sort where, in the early days, and this can be very confusing for startups, and it's sort of the crossing the chasm type of thing. So if you haven't read Jeffrey Moore's book, it doesn't apply to everybody, by the way. Crossing the chasm really only applies when you're inventing something new. So, just be careful. But a lot of times what happens when you invent something new, you're really creating something new for a market. You have those folks that are early adopters and sort of on the bleeding edge, and they will take your product and they will use it sort of in spite of your efforts. It can be the worst experience, but they're up for it. They love it. That's even the appropriate experience for them. As soon as it becomes more polished, more commercial, more mainstream, that's actually not what they want. Those users, they'll onboard themselves. They'll jump through the hoops. They'll make it work. Don't be fooled by them. At some point, you're gonna reach a level of maturity in your company and in the market that is not going to put up with that garbage, right? They're going to need something better. And I suspect what you're seeing with companies that are adopting this, 10 years or more into their existence, you're seeing them going after different customers, different users. With Facebook, they have 2 billion users. So now how do they get the next 3 billion? Probably the next billion, to hit 3. Probably those next billion are not going to be as willing to jump through the hoops. They're going to have to make it a much more seamless experience, a much better experience, more appropriate for those certainly not early adopters. The same thing goes with Google. We know that Google is, for their apps, they're going after more business users, so they're changing the experience. The appropriate experience for business, for larger enterprise customers is going to be different than what they were able to get with the smaller one-off, small startups and things like that. That's just the reality and the evolution of business. So like I said, I don't have a direct connection with those companies to know what's really going on, but my suspicion is they've reached a level of maybe even plateaued with sort of the early adopters, and now they need to make some changes to set the next billion users up for success. And I think that also matters at every company's scale. It might not be the same as Facebook or Google, but you may have some early adopters that are willing to put up with stuff, and then as soon as you start moving into more mature market segments, you're going to have to change the way that you go about that, including your onboarding, to sort of fit the appropriate experience of those newer or later stage customer segments. Well, I think you just hit the key word, which is design the process, and I think that's where most people go wrong. It's this for most companies. I think it's probably still most, unfortunately, they haven't designed the onboarding process. It's maybe a process, but it's not designed to do anything. Where it is designed, it's often designed to showcase the functionality of the product rather than getting the customer to be successful, which is, going back to the very first question, which is confusing sort of internally focused metrics or internally focused ideas with external or customer focused ideas. And that is, are we here to make sure that our customers are successful so that they're getting up and running properly? Or are we here to make sure that people use the features and functionality that we've invested in creating? Those are two different things. And that can be very confusing. If you've been investing a lot of money in building out particular features and functionality, your ego, and let's be honest, that's what it is, basically says that's what we have to sell. That's what we have to push. We have to make sure that our customers use all of these new great things that we spent money and time and energy creating, when in fact, especially in the very beginning, our customers may not want or even need what we've built. They might need a subset of that functionality, but because we can't get out of our own way, we forget that, and we try to give them either things that they don't need. We try to give them a sort of, here's everything you could possibly need, go for it. We give them or we give them like a blank page and tell them to just get started because we want to give them all the freedom that they need. When in reality, they need us to be more prescriptive. At the beginning, our customers may not know what they're doing. At the same time, there's what I call the spectrum of readiness, which is to say that we have good fit customers, right? So they're not bad fit. They're technically a good fit. But those good fit customers are going to be everything from not ready at all, they don't really understand what they need to do, to they're ready to go, they can hit the ground running, and everything is great. Customers that were our customers at another company, they go to a new company, they become our customer there. They don't need to get up to speed on anything, right? They're ready to go. They can just go in and start doing stuff. A customer that has just realized that they have a problem that we solve may need a lot of training. They may need a lot of help to get up and running. So just because they're a good fit doesn't mean that their success is guaranteed, right? They're still going to be on that spectrum of readiness, and we need to know where they're at so we can meet them where they are and take them where they need to go.